We're going to blow through this pretty quickly because I want to keep this focused on CBT activities that folks can come and work at Y-12 and Pantex. We are now consolidated nuclear security, which incorporates both Pantex and Y-12, and that's happened about 15 months ago. So everything to do in the thermonuclear weapons is now done through the same contractor. What you'll see there is a image of Y-12 in black and white. They haven't developed color in Y-12 yet. It's still 1943. And if you look very closely, you can see the temple to Ronald Reagan that's back there. And so we'll just blow through this pretty quickly. Mouse, folks. Spacebar. Okay, so here I am before I grow a beard, for those of you that are old enough to recognize this. We'll just go over it real quickly. The Americans call it the National Security Enterprise. The British, I really prefer their term, the Atomic Weapons Enterprise. This is our nuclear weapons complex, without immediately mouthing the thing. At Y-12, we have two detector testing centers, Site 1 and Site 2. And we use the metallic enriched and highly enriched uranium standards. And we also have a number of other standards that we'll discuss very quickly. Oh, I'm still going forward. Okay, real quickly, you folks have seen almost all of this. A lot of the faculty and the students don't see this, though. This is actually the nuclear weapons complex for the United States. It's, there's the production facilities, and you'll see Y-12 and Pantex. Kansas City does everything that's non-fissile. I won't say too much. Savannah River does the tritium reservoir filling. Plutonium work, Los Alamos still, out of Area 55, TA 55. And then Sandia for the neutron initiators for the weapons systems. And then we still have the weapons labs, and then this is so old of a slide, it shows Nevada Test Site, and that's in NSS now. So real quickly, what's the purpose of the testing centers at Pantex and Y-12? We did not have decent testing facilities to do this. I was founder of one of the nuclear instrumentation companies. We had no place to really test our own instrumentation. They say, you go ahead and send it to us and maybe we'll test it, but you'll never see the results. That doesn't work. You have to have the people that are developing the instrumentation themselves, the scientists, the engineers, the technicians. They must come and take and develop and deploy their instrumentation at your site. What we do is we give you the material, the space, and the safety basis to be able to do all of that testing. Then you may come back and spin after you've gone back and worked on it. Otherwise, most of us know this, like when we went out to DAF at the test line, for the portal monitors. So what we've developed are, we have the objects and the assemblies. We have the metallic enrichment standards I'll talk about. We have the radiation signature training devices. Poster number 16 over here shows a number of these. We also have all of the uranium compounds and alloys. And I mean every enrichment and every reagent that's used in the fuel cycle and the weapons cycle. We have packed those up as standards. We all have all kinds of other matrices, filters, raffinates, all kinds of things that can be deployed for measurements. And we have a lot of the source materials in the historical inventory. We save them. Okay, Site 1, real quickly. Really highly dedicated in a really secure facility. Well, this isn't the building where they actually make and break everything at Y-12. It has to be there. That's where all the stuff is. So I've gotten the library, and so you can use specific things that are there. They're dedicated forever for testing, because they said I was destroying their thermonuclear weapons by DT generators. They'd never work again. Well, we all know that's foolish. So Don Cook and Ann Harrington let us develop a library, and we quizzed everybody. Intelligence community, national laboratories, weapons complex, everyone you can think of and said, what do you want to save? And that's what we've saved. And a few other things that I've asked for. These are the items in the library of test objects. I can't say exactly what they are, but they're everything in the inventory going back to the 1950s. They will never be destroyed. Same thing in Pantex, and I can't say hardly anything about Pantex, but we're doing a lot of things there. Site 1, here's a few more things. Then I got active interrogation measurements approved that we can do active interrogation right during the day, during standard operations, and they fought this for years and years and years. Oh, you're gonna kill people with the neutron generator, you're going to destroy the material, you'll upset operations. 8 years of my life and millions of dollars, but we can operate. Actually, we're bringing in another DT generator for John Milhausen that has 2 times 10 to the 8th neutrons per second, and that's the new Y-12 for some of the newer measurements for dismantlement. Okay, so we do monitoring and verification of dismantlement operations is what we're doing now. What we have been doing and still doing is rate measurements campaign. All the secondaries were done at Y-12. All the primaries were done at Pantex. Now they're doing all the full ups at Pantex. And these are the real deal. I won't say, but the enduring stockpile, okay? What you saw there was an INL experiment, actually. That's Gus Cafferty's work with the PIN system. That, yeah, I got your lawyer's approval. And so, but here, let's cut to the meat. For this group, Site 2, we developed this specifically for students and faculty and nuclear instrumentation companies to come in and be able to use their own instrumentation systems. You can use ours too, but their own instrumentation systems, and we deploy all the material. Now you can get up to ½ kilo of metallic HEU. And if your system doesn't work with that much, you know, what's the point? But we have, you can bring all of your stuff in, you set it up, you design the experiment, we get it approved, you come in and do a minor little shuffle to get your first pass, and then you come to work just like you're coming to work. You don't even have to hassle with stopping anymore. Then you come in, you do 2 hours of training, then you come to work and we start deploying the sources. The only thing that you cannot do is you can't touch the uranium or the other stuff. We have to handle the sources. So you operate everything, you collect your data, we just flip it over to a technical information office and classification. They say, yeah, it's all unclassified. You get within 2 days and you can publish it. You can publish it all. You have to. So what can you do? You can also have your sponsors come in and take a look at the testing that you're doing with your instrumentation. You can have the headquarters people come in, you can have them all come down and say, this is what we're doing, now let's roll some uranium out, you can watch. Your funding organizations, everybody can come and play. Passive gamma ray and neutron measurements. I actually set this up first with Sarah Pozzi in mind when she was still an Italian citizen. So she could come in, so I got foreign national approval. So Sarah and her students could come in. And we are now finishing our active interrogation for Site 2, DD inside in a big vault, DT generator outside on this loading dock. Everybody says, what's the big deal about the loading dock? Well, nobody else can deploy ½ kilo of HEU very easily, so it's an old dirty loading dock, but we can do a lot of stuff. Okay, who can test there? Personnel with or without security clearances. I even have foreign national approval. Now, sensitive countries takes a little longer, but we can get foreign nationals in to do this testing. University research groups, and we've had 8 or 10 different groups so far. Nuclear instrumentation, national lab personnel that don't have clearances, and there's a lot of them. Red badge folks, they can come in and work. Other folks, and we talked about foreign nationals. Okay, and to show you that we'll let everybody in there. There's and his students, what they're making measurements of this year, and we're setting up more measurements for them. They're measuring all of our new standards, our uranium metallic standards, 11 different enrichments, plus the RSTD that you'll see a cutaway over here. And we'll give you all the design specs for his models. That's been approved by headquarters. All the materials, all the dimensions. Okay. There's a radiography of one of the hemispheres of the RSTDs. That's what the RSTD looks at. We got a photo over on the, but here's the standards, 11 enrichments, and they're right on the money. We have it to 5 significant figures. A few more standards, so we all know what gamma ray spectra, but we have reagents of all types of enrichments. And so this is what we are planning to do. This is what we're doing now. And the acknowledgements. And sorry to be running over a little bit. Real quickly, I'm retiring, and my successor has been chosen, Dr. Martin Williamson. Many of you know him. He'll be taking over as NA 22, 24, 42, 82, 84, point of contact, director of the center at Pantex and Y-12 of all the radiation centers, plus all the different work that we're doing on ionizing radiation detection with our colleagues. And then I wander off to Washington, D.C. and become a real hazard. Thanks, folks.
And within this, we sort of cover the full spectrum from basic science research, development, full life cycle development,